What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Sport Universe commentary video. What I want to talk about today is the letdown loss against for the Giants against the Cardinals. As a Jets fan, I follow the Giants to some degree. I follow rivalries a lot, and for example, the Mets and Yankees. Follow the Yankees a lot, follow the Mets a lot. I'm a Mets fan. Jets and Giants, it's not as big as a rivalry right now because the teams haven't been good for a few years. A few years might be a stretch. They've been bad for a while. So I've been following the Giants a little bit because they started off bad, and their rise has definitely been an interesting storyline that I've wanted to look over, listen about, watch what other people have been talking about. And a big thing that people have been talking about is how good Joe Judge is as a coach. So there's a few things I want to cover in this video. First off, the letdown loss for the Giants against the Cardinals. Second off, Joe Judge. Is he a good coach? And third off, the main point of this video, how I value coaches across all sports leagues. First thing, the letdown loss to the Cardinals. It was a letdown. I mean, a lot of people were riding the Giants. They thought they were good. They thought they were turning the season around. They have been playing well. Daniel Jones comes back. It's obvious that he was rusty, for sure. Didn't have his wheels under him, which is a big part of his game. And the defense on the other side didn't play well. The defense is a huge part of what the Giants have been able to do this season and get 5 wins. It's been a huge part. The Giants defense wasn't there. Could be because they have to keep coming on the field because the Giants offense was terrible. But I think it's the third straight week the Giants haven't been able to score 20 points. And that's not something you can happen and hope to win the division and make it to the playoffs. Tonight, the Giants have to watch what the Redskins do. If the Redskins win, the Redskins take first place, and the Giants are behind by 1 game. I mean, if I was the Giants fan, I'd be worried because of how they played today's game. Daniel Jones looked rusty. There was a point where it looked like Colt McCoy might be coming in for the second half. Obviously, Joe Judge stuck with Daniel Jones, but he didn't play well. I think he had like 127 yards. Just not good. He looked rusty. I don't know how long it's going to take Daniel Jones to come back from this hamstring injury. I mean, people were talking about that he couldn't play this week, and it was obvious that he wasn't up to it either. So it'll be interesting to see if he can overcome it next week when he takes on the Browns, and the Browns are a tough team at this point. So there's a lot to worry about if you're a Giants fan. So there's no ending to that. It'll be a uphill climb if the Redskins end up winning today. Next thing I want to talk about, Joe Judge. Everyone's been talking about how good a coach Joe Judge has been this season. He's been outstanding. There's articles about Matt Patricia was Joe Judge is what the Lions hoped they would get out of Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia obviously didn't do well with the Lions. But is Joe Judge really doing that good with the Giants? Listen, Joe Judge was around when the Giants were 0-5 this season. Was Joe Judge considered a good coach at that point? Definitely not. Now, because they've been able to rattle off some wins, he's considered a great coach. The defense has really picked up, and everyone's been giving praise to Joe Judge. I don't know if Joe Judge is that good of a coach. There's a lot of coaches that come in the league, have success their first year, and then fall off. For example, Chicago Bears, Matt Nagy. I don't really follow the Bears, so it's either one of those. Was the coach of the year, I think his first year as the Bears coach. Now he's considered an awful coach. There was another, who's the other name? There's so many examples of coaches that come into the league, have success, considered a good coach, then terrible coach. Just because of the team's record. And that brings me to, ending off the second point, I don't know if Joe Judge is a good coach. I think people are hyping him up a little bit at this point. Yeah, the Giants have been able to turn around, but who was the head coach for the Giants when they were 0-5? Joe Judge. So, are we really sitting here and saying from 0-5 to where they are now, he's changed so much and he's a great coach? I don't know if that's fair. And that brings me to my third point, how I think coaches are valued across the leagues. In my opinion, I don't think coaches make that big of a difference. And I've had this opinion for a while. Coaches are there to keep the team going, keep the team motivated, keep the team together, have everyone believe in a common goal, make play calls, things like that. Get the team through the season, have them happy to play, things like that. They're kind of like HR for a team, HR for like a business. They're kind of like that, in my opinion. And I think people are valuing them way too much. If I was to rank, I'd say football coaches are probably the most important out of all the leagues, but that's not really saying much. I think it all lands in the talent of the players. Obviously, you have to have the right coach that can communicate between players and things like that and have the team going. But that shouldn't be that hard to happen. I think they're giving Joe Judge too much credit. I think they give a lot of coaches too much credit. I mean, just some examples, and this is going to be some hot takes. Steve Kerr. I don't know if he's that good of a coach. He was put in a perfect position to coach the Warriors. And the Warriors had so much talent that you can't really judge Steve Kerr's coaching ability. They've just been really good, but Steve Kerr is going to go down as a Hall of Fame coach, for sure. Eric Spoelstra. I don't know, he's had talent for a long time. And he's done well with the talent that he's had. I can't think of any baseball coaches right now, for some reason. Joe Girardi comes to mind. He had outstanding talent. He's considered an all-time head coach. Was he really the reason that they did so well? I don't know. Coaches are fired, then they go to another team. That team does great, and they become a great head coach. I mean, I wish I could give a perfect example of this, but coaches are fired. They go to other teams. They play really well. I mean, Mike McCarthy is another great example. With the Green Bay Packers for a while, was considered an outstanding head coach. Then he gets fired and he goes to the Cowboys. Cowboys are doing bad head coach. I don't know how much truly lands on the coaches at this point. And I think people are starting to hype up certain people too much. Joe Judge, for instance. I mean, another example, Adam Gase. We can all agree he's a bad coach. But is it really Adam Gase that's causing the Jets to be this bad? No, it's the roster that's surrounding Sam Darnold, the centerpiece of the franchise right now. It's crap. There's no one on that roster besides Sam Darnold and a few players on defense. And that's what's made Sam Darnold so bad, and that's what's made the Jets so bad. Listen, Joe Judge could become a good head coach, but you can't really judge a head coach. It's really based off the roster around them. Certain GMs, certain owners put good rosters around coaches year after year, and that makes them very good head coaches. So in my opinion, concluding this video, Giants, letdown loss. It could be a concern if the Redskins win today. Joe Judge, not sure if he's a good head coach or not. Third, I think people value coaches a little too much. And I guess if you want to call that a hot take, you can call it a hot take. That's the end of this video. Thanks for watching.